Hello and welcome back to City Skylines 2, and you're with me in Venice 2.0, our modern vanilla take on a Venice themed build. And we have come across many challenges, mostly because we can't really, the connections and everything are really tricky to build up, which means we're getting a lot of traffic. And in the last episode I worked on building a kind of commercial island where there would be mostly shops and offices, and it didn't really grow very much, but thankfully things have improved. I let the game run for a little bit and things are starting to fill in, and it just looks a bit more industrial. Now personally this isn't 100% the vibe I would have liked for my Venice 2.0 build. I think I would have liked to have been able to have kind of fixed with like the EX and the medium density housing, because that is kind of more what I would imagine Venice to be like, but it turns out it is almost impossible to do that in this game at the moment. Hopefully as mods and things come into play we can get away with building more things, but this is kind of our shopping hub. So they come off a rather steep bridge down into like a little centre where we've got the bank and the city hall, and just some more high-rise buildings compared to the main island. This is still my favourite island by far. I just love the way it looks and the way the road kind of curves off towards the bridge, and you know, you've got the different height buildings, but all in all everything's kind of uniform. But today's episode we want to work on this island, which is our touristic island. So we've already put in, I've kind of tried to make it into like a I suppose a medieval complex. I'm thinking of Venice itself as a city has the kind of main touristic bit where you've got the Doge's palace and the square and the kind of market hall kind of layout. And that was kind of what I wanted to recreate to some extent, but again we're kind of limited by the mods that we've got. And then we also popped in a harbour right on the edge, which was a lot of effort to get fitted into the game, but nonetheless we've done it. We've got some parks, we've got some houses, but it's looking a bit bland. There's not a lot going for it, and I just want to build it out a little bit and make it nicer. And you can also see our crazy bridge system. In hindsight, making a Venice themed build without any kind of mods and stuff, I would have not put the water in until like last minute. I would have built out the islands and put in all the bridges, but I would have done the water last minute, because actually putting in all these key walls was an absolute nightmare. It took too long to explain to you. So without further ado, I want to make this island feel built up, and expanded out. And we also probably need to move some things around, because we've kind of put in a road maintenance depot, we put in an emergency battery station, we popped a few things in because we couldn't quite figure out where to pop them so that they could feed into the rest of the city. So let's first of all kind of map out some roads and how we want it all to look, because I want it to look all crammed, almost using like alley roads is what I'm thinking, these alley roads, rather than all the pedestrian ones. So let's have a little play around. Could almost go down the middle if it would fit. So again, we've got a few little ways around. Whether or not I need that one there, but we'll see how that goes. So we've got our road maintenance depot building, which we need to find a place for him to live. I'm thinking, can we move him over to where it's all been built up somewhat, maybe? We have gridded out an area of zoning. Now we haven't got a lot, well we've got a few parks, but not a ton in the way of some parks, and I'm thinking maybe some water park, anybody? Let's have a little look at it. What does the water park look like? You kind of would maybe imagine it, but maybe not exactly there, but you never know. Let's have a little Look at the devil. Pop that there. I mean, it could be worse. There's nothing wrong with having one of those there. There's a big observation tower, which, you know, might be actually nice completely on its own somewhere. We've got all the sports fields, but again, I don't see that connecting very well. Oh, we've got some electricity issues, which doesn't surprise me. That's just... Yeah, there we go. Everything's happy. You moaning myrtles. Yeah, I don't think we want to use sports fields particularly over this bit. We've got the large plaza, which we popped one in there. We've got a bit of a park area over here. Maybe by the water might be quite nice. We've got a large playground again. You know, just a few nice little touches. Oh, actually, I'll move you so you're not in the way of... There we go. So let's have a little look at what buildings we want in here. So far, I think pretty much all of them are the EU mix. Let's just see what we get. And then we'll do the same. Oh, it's growing in quick. Look at that. Loving it. Loving it like that. I mean, what if we make the whole area green? Just screw it. You're all green. Because it's also houses, isn't it? So it's a bit of everything. There's going to be some pollution. Oh, crap. Let's not put that there. Yeah, there's going to be some pollution, but... Sometimes you just got to deal with it, Dennis. Sometimes. I don't know who Dennis is, but he needs to deal with it. Yeah, we'll just see what that all looks like. I'm hoping it will look quite nice around this whole area and build it all up a little bit. We've got some issues for ambulances. Let's just double check. Healthcare is absolutely fine, but probably the major issue is the ability for ambulances to get places. Have we got a helicopter pad on it? Yeah, we've got a helicopter pad and we haven't got loads of patients, so there shouldn't be that big an issue. Again, this place is looking good. Let's just scatter some plants amongst wherever we can fit them in. Not very many places, admittedly, because we used alleyways again. Alleyways are really, really useful actually in this map. I think it looks really good. Anywhere at all? Nowhere. The way you've put too many plants in, Sarah, that nothing can grow anywhere. There we go. Oh, I like that. It's such a nice... Like, particularly from the sports field, like imagine going here as a school. You walk, you look out and you've got water directly out the front. Ignore the train issue there. You've got the stadium, you've got the tennis courts, and again, you're playing tennis right against the water. Reminds me of when I went to Croatia, and like, yeah, Croatia's such a beautiful city, and it's kind of a city country. And we went to Zadar, Split. We kind of stayed around there, and again, it's a similar vibe. A lot of their areas are like old towns where there's no cars, only people walking around, and it just looks incredible. And we're just going to ignore the traffic. I know somebody had a really good idea about fixing the roads so that it's almost like a one way in, one way out kind of thing, and I think that's a really good idea. I don't want to change the map of this island because I love it. I think it's so beautiful. It's this bit I don't want to change. So what I was thinking is almost actually have another island as the way in and then another island as a way out, potentially, was a thought of mine. Who knows, we'll see. It might be a terrible idea. So this is how a lot of the houses are forming. Not too shabby. You know, fitting along the water's edge there quite nicely. Yeah. Not too shabby. I mean, they're all a similar build, just different levels of, I suppose, upgrades. done to them, and I think we can fill it all in nicely with some plants and build it up to look a bit nicer. But yeah, that's all going to grow in really nice. So we'll leave that for now to give things a chance, because they are all the same level building, they're just different levels. I just kind of do like the slightly bigger ones, so whether or not we remove some of the alleyways to make room for bigger buildings, but we'll leave that as it is and let things grow in. So the second thing that I wanted to do for this area, oh, there was a love heart. What did that mean? What does that mean? I've never seen that before. Oh, it's stopped now. Oh no. What does that mean? Is that people having a good time? Does anyone know what the love heart means? That's interesting. So we've got some really, really good development going on, but we need to feed this bit of the city with the mainland, which we've kind of left to its own devices. We've kind of gridded it out in a basic form just to supply the masses. But as you can see, we've got an awful lot going on over here. And a lot of demand for things like our high-rise, our offices, and the high-rise offices are freaking ginormous. So what we're going to do is just make this area, I suppose, future-proof, and then we are going to do a second way into our Venice. So let's grid all of this out. And we'll let all of that grow in, and then we've got loads and loads and loads of demand for our low density. So without further ado, same thing over here. Ooh, what's happened there? Interesting, it's done a gaping hole to the bottom of the earth. That's interesting. What happened there? Oh, that was a weird one. Hey guys. Never mind. We will leave the gaping hole to the middle of the earth and hope it doesn't come back. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Getting some bigger buildings growing in as our city starts to expand. Oh, it's going to look really good as time goes by. And these are all offices as well, I believe. There's a few of them anyway. So, thinking about another entryway into the city, let's just have a little look from over ahead. So we've got housing and stuff this way. We've got nothing on this side yet, but the train station. I'm thinking if we connect over here, so purchase these tiles, like those tiles, and kind of do a bridge this way. We are going to have to buy some of these as well, but it doesn't matter because we're cheating and we're using unlimited funds. I'm thinking we will connect up to this island here as a way into the city as well. I think that could work quite nicely. So let's just bridge it out. We'll use a medium road. Now he's going to have to go quite high. Isn't he, to get over, because that bridge is an interesting one. Right, so that's that. It needs to get over there. Let's just have a little look. I can't remember how high he has to get. I think he has to get to like 50, I think. Okay, so the issue isn't actually that, it's the bridge bit. Do we actually just look at bridges? So if we go to bridges, and we go to the big ones, we could do the Golden Gate Bridge. So it has to be taller than that. 30? 40? Okay, so maybe it doesn't need to be that tall. Right, let's just have a little look. How tall does it have to be? Okay, So it has to be 40. There we go, guys. And annoyingly, I can't do my normal mod at the moment because of the whatever the problem is with the the mods. There's like an issue, isn't there, with the mods? I believe. I might be absolutely telling porcupines. I don't know if it needs to be that actually. I think we could get away with a 4-laner and maybe a big giant roundabout. And hopefully that's a new way into the city once we figure out what to do on this side. I know it's not that extravagant and I'm probably ruining it, but and then we need to put some kind of junction. Ooh, I'm having, well, there's nothing wrong with it being that kind of road for a minute. We need to find a way for it to connect over here. And it's what is the easiest intersection. Let's have a good look at these. We've got these giant ones. Could it go? They are huge, aren't they? You want something that goes up and under. Yeah, I think what we'll do... I've done it the wrong way, haven't I? Because I live in the UK and it goes the other way. And then we'll do the highways. We'll fix that, we'll fix it. Right, let's just look at the railway bit. We need to make him... There we go, everybody now can get in, and I suppose we'll let it be traffic lighted, but it means that if people want to get into the city, they can travel all along this beautiful, and it is a beautiful, beautiful bridge, and make their way down a rather steep hill into the city. And hopefully that's going to be a really useful connection for all the locals over here. Yeah. We'll find out, really, won't we? We'll find out. Now, all the students here don't really have any kind of accommodation. Just wondering, what do we do? Do we try that? And just see what grows in? If it's nothing good, we'll get rid of it. Oh, bollocks, I didn't mean to do that, did I? Didn't mean for that to happen. Sorry, darling. Yeah, because we put the terraced ones around here, didn't we? We'll just see. If it looks terrible, I will scrap them and put terraced houses around. But I don't know. I think students generally, in the UK, students do live in terraced houses actually, so that's not unusual, but I don't know, it just, I'm not set on it. I don't quite know what to do. If we put a couple in and then we'll just see the difference, maybe compare and contrast depending on what grows in first. Nothing, because we've only got demand for low density. So hopefully that's going to help with traffic control. And look at that, the traffic isn't actually that bad for such a big city. Let's look back over here, what's grown in. Not too shabby, is it? It's not too shabby. My only concern is that looks a little squished. Whether or not we need this road here. People are driving along it though, aren't they? We'll leave it for now and let the rest grow in. So, the last thing I wanted to do for this episode is just spend a little bit of time preserving our main bit of the city, because you can see everyone that lives on the islands are perfectly happy with the rent. Our rent itself, I've dropped everything down, it's 4% for residential, 6% for everything else. But supposedly, it's still not enough. People are not happy enough to be living where they're living. Everyone's saying it's high rent, and if we look at like the land value, that is why, because in the city loads of really good land value, and then over here there's nothing for them. And I'm thinking, how can we boost that? So I've tried to put some parks in, and it's helped-ish, but it's not really done enough for land value. I'm thinking, what else can we do to improve land value? Maybe put in some parks, some tourist attractions, some sports fields, things like that. A random tennis court, skate park thing. Does that help with the land value? Not really, but what does help with land value is things like shops, having the police headquarters and things nearby. Like this bit's got very good land value, so we may just have to play around with it in this game. So, as I said, we've got an issue with no demand for... interesting, it says there's loads of commercial demand, but then nobody's building any. But office demand is crazy, and I wonder what that's... Is that the education, maybe? So most of our population are poorly or educated, not many in other areas. We haven't got many people in college, but we probably need to look at a second college. Same with elementary schools, we're a little on the low side. Loads of workplace. Our population's happy, there's nothing wrong. Only 1.8% are unemployed. And yeah, it is interesting about the land value, because I would say I'd rather live in the rural areas. Personally, that's just me. But anyway, as I said, I wanted to look at industry, because at the moment our only industrial areas, those two little pockets, we're not really doing much with industry. And we've got things like a bit of a farm fields areas. We've got scope for some stuff. So if we look over here, oh wow, look at the car accidents off this junction. Now this isn't even my junction, I have to say. But there is some farm field space over here. Now we haven't purchased this land yet, but that is not a problem. We can purchase it. And likewise, I think there's lots of availability for other things over, like rocks over here. We've got oil or ore. So lots is actually over on this part of town. So let's do some farm fields over here first, because we've got the ability. Now the chickens can go wherever they like. And I've gone and not even purchased enough squares still. And we're going to have to link up to some of these highways a little bit. And I'm thinking a very simple junction here. So we've got 2 highways. It doesn't matter too much about the intersection. So we'll do a really smidgy one. Right there. There we go. An easy win junction. And then we've got some space for our farm fields to come off, and equally, should we want to build anything this way, because we've got some forest fires, we've got some forest areas over there, so I'm probably going to just, oh, no, you were a roundabout, stay as a roundabout. What I was thinking is off of the roundabout, to have a way for him to kind of wind off between the trees maybe. And then we don't need to do anything too fancy other than put in some kind of dirt roads and farm fields really. So now the farm fields themselves, we've got, so I'm trying to think what their space is like. There we go. So we've got all these lovely cute little farms, and actually we've got some special farm buildings. We've got a vehicle factory, a ground earth, a dairy farm, a paper factory, chemicals, fuel, farmer and oil. Now we haven't got animals yet because we haven't put chickens in, but I'm thinking a nice dairy house plonked in there, and then putting in some parking. So we've got a dairy farm. If we could move him a smidge. I'm just wondering, can we just pop in a couple of relevant just in there, you know? We'll see, we'll see. It might look a bit silly, and if it looks silly, it is what it is. And the same on the other side. We'll just build a little bit of some industry around here, and it's kind of shaping in to look quite good actually, if I do say so myself. And we've already got crime. Why? What are you doing? What are you doing, guys? That's stupid. Trying to commit a crime around there. Crazy kittens. Let's move you. Just smish them in there. There we go. Some people have just no respect, you know? Absolutely ridiculous. To be causing crimes during a time like this, stupid. And then the last thing we haven't done is anything in terms of the chickens. Chickens, which I thought this would be a great place to put some chickens, is just along the back of this one. And then this bit again we can turn into like a little makeshift industry area maybe. If I can fit him in. I can. This whole area, makeshift industry again on this side, same thing. So, chickens, chickens. And then again, we can also do the same down the back here. Right, chickens, that's my goal. Let's pop in one here And one. Oh, she says it wants me to get cracking with doing my limits. Okie dokie. And again, I'm not being too intricate right now because I'll tidy it up once I know where I want things. And they're not huge farms, they're just nice and stable farms. And then one more for good fortune. And we have a whole farming little area that hopefully will develop, and there will be pockets of some buildings, some farmland, and look a little bit more lively. And then we've got Woodland Way, and then I'm thinking of making this almost a little bit of a village extension. This will be city on this side, and then this can be like a little rural village that's almost been eaten by the city, is my plan for the future. But it means that we now are producing some of our goods, not very much, but we're making a start, and hopefully that's going to then increase the demand for everything else. So we still have issues with places being abandoned because people don't want to live there and the rent's too high. And can we split it down? So if we go for, we'll make the rent really cheap for the people that are poorly educated. I was wondering if we can make it so that people don't have to live, well, to be fair, it is what it is. I can't do much about it, can I? Can we see where the educated people live? Is that possible? So you can see there's less well-educated people over this side to over that side, I guess, is what it's showing, which is fair enough. But yeah, look at the commercial district. Boom, 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 boom. We've got some issues with, that was why there's space there. We can make that pretty. We can fill it all in. And then the bit that we did today, our major issue is we've got a lack of high-skilled labour, which will only come with time. We need to work on our college capacity. We've got 1,000 people in it, and yeah, all of our education probably is going to be what we need to work on the next episode. And if we look at crime, despite it says crime's on the rise, we've only got 1% crime, so I don't really know what we can do about that. But overall, I think the city's really coming together. This bridge is hopefully going to be helpful for the future with helping people get in and out of the city, and bring in some nice views from a distance, maybe. Depends if my graphics card, I ever get a new graphics card, really. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything in particular you think we should do differently, and I'll see you guys soon. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Bye.